What have I learned this first year of being on YouTube? Hello, my name is Pam Cross. For those of you who are new to the channel, maybe this is your first time watching and you're just curious, welcome. And I'm excited to share. And if you haven't already, grab a great cup of coffee or beverage of your choice and get ready as we dive in today's episode. So I'm just excited to share about what this first year has looked like for me. And first of all, with YouTube itself, I um, have had a dream of starting YouTube for several years, for a long time now. And our family, we talked about doing like family vlogs. This is when I just had my first child, Liam, who's now 12. And then we had just a season of our youngest child going through cancer treatments. And I just remember looking on YouTube and trying to find families that I could relate to that were going through cancer, that were, in that journey. And I could not find anyone. And so we decided to start recording. But even with that, we actually never posted a single video on YouTube about that journey. And then since then, I've learned that I have a voice and just a desire to share on platforms. So I'm on a lot of social media things. They're all small, nothing big or anything, but just learning how much I love sharing our story and hoping to impact others. So ultimately, what I've learned in this last year about YouTubing is that, when you find something that you are so passionate about, it doesn't matter how little or how much you work on it. Every time you press that record button, you are going to be excited. You're going to find joy. You're going to feel like you're making an impact. You're making a difference. And a big part of my channel, what I started off doing on Spotify was sharing, at least half of my episodes are other people sharing their stories. Eventually, I hope to get back to that, having other people share their story, their journey in life, what God has done in their life. And then the other part of that is I would like to have a coffee panel sometime, just talking about just the basics of like, what is a testimony, just Bible stories, things like that. Hasn't happened yet, but those are future things that once I learn how to operate another camera, hopefully we will get on there, and another microphone. Um, and so just realizing, like with this channel, just how much I love sharing about our journey going through childhood cancer. Not that I love the journey itself, but sharing to help others who are going through a hard time, who are going through a hard season. And let's face it, we all go through hard seasons in life. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're famous, if you're, just like me, if you're it doesn't matter who you are. I'm not saying I'm famous. I'm saying if you're famous or a person just like me. I'm just, regular. um, anyways, but just that it doesn't matter who you are, if you are a famous person, if you are a YouTuber, if you're just, you know, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're anybody who lives a life on this earth, you're going to go through hard times. And so just realizing how much I love sharing about, how God is there in those journeys. And just how you can find joy despite whatever you go through. And I just find that every time I go to hit the record button, there's just my heart begins to flutter and I just get so excited. And yes, I still get nervous every single episode that I record. I say a lot of ums at first, but as the videos go on, if you've been following me, you'll notice that those tend to like simmer down a little bit as I become more confident in front of the camera. And so just really finding my voice this last year. And as I continue to record and continue to grab hold more of what this channel is to look like, it's only going to grow. It's only going to get better from here. I'm only going to learn how to use more devices and, add people onto my channel and things like that. Um, but I'm just really thankful for this opportunity and that I finally, after so many years, that I finally said yes. And so if you are looking at starting on a platform and especially on YouTube, one of my biggest takeaways is I would say just hit the record button. your first videos, you are going to fumble. It's almost a guarantee unless you are, a motivational speaker or just, maybe a teacher, somebody who's used to speaking in front of people. Even then, I think they would be nervous. But you just have to hit the record button and just allow yourself to speak. And even if you got to record or not record, even if you have to read a script, like I always write notes. This is actually the shortest amount I've written is just one page and they're very spaced in between at the bottom. Usually I spend like 2 to 3 hours easily preparing and writing every episode before I start. And then as I go on, I don't necessarily look at all my notes. I just go with it. It's like I just need to write it down first and then go with the flow. And then so yes, just hitting a record button and just allowing yourself to release whatever is on your heart, and just knowing that you may only have one view, you may have 20 views. I don't get a whole lot. And, just realizing that that's okay, because my heart isn't to get, the many. My heart is to go after that one. Maybe there's one parent who's going through childhood cancer. Maybe there's one person who has just lost somebody dear and close to them, whether it's a friend, a spouse, a child. Maybe there's one person that needs to hear that God is in your story, that He's in your journey, and He's going to grace you through it. And though you are facing heartache and sorrow right now, there is joy in the morning. And as long as there is breath in your lungs, as long as you have a voice, God is not done with your life. And what are you doing with it? It's okay to be in grief and sorrow for a moment. It is absolutely okay to be in grief and sorrow. But God never wants us to stay in that, because that can hold you back from all that He has. That can hold you back from moving forward, from going forth, from the bigger picture that He has for your life, for the people He has waiting for you to impact. Wherever you are at in your career, stay-at-home mom, in your life, if you're in school, wherever you are, God has plans and purposes for your life. And He has never promised easy, but He has promised that His grace is sufficient and that He will be right there to carry you through. And so that is a big the big part and heart of this YouTube channel is to encourage others in the faith and in their trials. And so just every time that I get ready to post a video. So this is the next part, is so, overcoming the fear, just hit record, do it anyways. But the next part is once you are done recording and you are actually ready to hit publish, that is so exciting. I can't even explain just the joy that I get from that. And even my son, he loves and looks forward to being able to push the little button itself and to publish the episodes. And so he's one of my biggest cheerleaders, him and my husband. And I have some really close friends that cheer me on in this channel a lot, and family. But my son, he really is my biggest cheerleader. And he's always looking for Mommy, we're going to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, or we're going to be able to do this and that. And he's he dreams big for me, and I love that, and it's encouraging. But to see his excitement every time a new episode posts, like I said, it brings joy to my heart. And then just this first year on YouTube, just watching that first subscriber was incredible. And then that first 10 and 50 and 100. And as of the posting of this video, I have just under 200 subscribers. And just once again, just the joy of seeing those numbers go up. And it's like, Lord, it's exciting. I know I'm a super small channel, but it doesn't matter. It's still so exciting. Every time somebody likes or comments, especially, I love reading the comments, or every time somebody subscribes. And so another thing I've learned this last year is when I see small channels, I have started liking almost all of them, as long as, they go with my beliefs and aren't too crazy or out there. I just love supporting other people in their journey, and just knowing how excited I get over one subscriber. I hope that they do too. And so just loving that so much. And So another thing that I've learned this year, and so this is for those of you who, once again, are looking at starting a channel, is that it definitely is better to be consistent, and which I'm not. But I have noticed that the months when I take like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks off before posting, it's almost like working through molasses or mud, just trying to get the views going again, and it really goes down. Not that I have a lot of views. I average right now about 75 a video, but to get that 100 to 200 views, if I keep posting, I notice that it's easier to get those. But a big part of that is I had to work through fear. And so I can't tell you how many times this past year I've recorded an episode. I've had it sitting for weeks, ready to go, but there's just been a fear in my heart, and just like an unsure of like, is this okay? Are people going to understand it? Is it too bold? Is it, is this really going to touch somebody's heart? And so just really working through those thoughts, and just realizing, no matter what, just post, just post the videos. And I do have friends that almost every video I have at least one friend that watches a video just to see like, does this make sense? Does this flow? And so I think that is good, but I'd like to eventually get to a point where I don't necessarily need that encouragement to post. Maybe it's a good thing to have an extra eye looking out. I don't know. But I still struggle with that insecurity of, it's okay. It's, as long as you're sharing from the heart, and, just sharing what God has, it's probably going to reach who it needs to reach, even if it is one person. But yeah, and so just with being consistent, I hear so many people say, like, if you want to grow, you need to be consistent. And for me, what I learned about halfway through the year or so, over this past summer, is that being consistent, like, I had a couple of times where, maybe I recorded more than one episode in a day, which was really awesome, very rare for me. But that to take off that pressure that I was feeling, sorry, I said that weird. To take off the pressure that I was feeling, I needed to not try to post consistently. And so I know that goes against everything that, people say, once again, as far as growing a channel and stuff. But I needed to post when I felt ready and when I'd spent time in prayer, and not just to turn on the camera to record, but I really wanted to feel ready, as ready as I could. And just writing down the messages, and everybody prepares differently. But I do, yeah, I'm so thankful that it was like, once again, this was like 6 months into recording, that I just finally was like, this is a lot, like trying to be consistent when I'm not even consistent. That pressure was heavy. And so just realizing like, I'm just going to work with the time that I have and work with what I can do. And, just, even if it does slow me down on growing this channel, as long as I'm still moving, as long as I'm still doing something is happening. There's still movement, there's still momentum happening, even though it's slower and maybe restarting at times. But, yeah, just really thankful for that. I really believe that's wisdom of the Holy Spirit. And, so anyways, I'm so thankful for this first year on YouTube. I believe right now I have 175 subscribers, and eventually one of my goals for this coming year is to connect my Spotify to YouTube, and so those episodes can be across both platforms, and just to continue to grow and learn. This video, which I never even expected, is actually being recorded on my phone, which I've only recorded one other episode. Most of the time I record on my computer, which is 11 years old, because I know it. I've had it for over a decade. My phone I just got in September. My last phone was 6 years old. I don't like to get new equipment. I have gotten microphones and things like that, just so I can, better quality and hearing. But this is very new. The first time I've actually connected this microphone to the phone. And so hopefully this works out okay. I tested it once before recording this. But I went to record from my computer today and the camera actually wasn't working. I've had that happen one other time. It said the camera's turned off and I tried figuring out and I spent about an hour on that. But just learning that, things don't always go as planned, but especially when you feel like you have a message. Sorry, I'm slurring that. Especially when you feel like you have a message to share, a lot of times things do not go as planned. And so you have to overcome that and work through those obstacles or hurdles or that fear. And just realizing like I really feel like I'm supposed to just share this episode. And so my computer not working wasn't going to stop me, but I'm learning something new. And so I'm still growing. And I think that's a big part of what I've learned this year too, is that, it's good to grow. It's good to set new goals. I've been wanting to learn to record from my phone. I was actually going to this episode have my computer and my phone going so I can maybe do different views, try to figure that out. But instead I just have the one view again. But hopefully maybe the quality is better because it's a newer phone, once again at least a decade newer than my computer. So but anyways, I hope that encourages whoever needs to hear this, that if you are looking into, starting your YouTube channel or maybe a Facebook page for a ministry or an Instagram page, whatever it is that's on your heart, I would say just start prayerfully and start it. And whether that's just creating images or sharing, like typing on things or actually recording, just start. Don't let fear and hesitation hold you back, because who knows, if I would have recorded all those years ago, who knows where this channel could be at now. But at the same time, I also believe that God brings things back around for his goodness and his glory. And so maybe I was supposed to start years ago, but I am starting now. And I know God is in this, and I know that this season is beautiful, and I'm learning a lot. And there's been a lot of frustration because I'm not a techie person. So trying to figure all of this out has been extremely hard for me. But if I can do it, I know you can do it too. But thank you guys so much for those of you who have, followed me from the beginning. Thank you for listening to the stories as I share, and, just the time that I spend preparing for each episode. It's hours of preparing and then usually an hour of recording, and I spent hours editing every video. And so you're talking a lot of time, and no, I don't get paid for this. I do it for fun and for just the love of it and the joy. But just so thankful that you are choosing to take time out of your day to listen to me. It means a lot. If you are new to this channel and maybe you're liking what you're hearing, or maybe you need to check out another video, I would just appreciate you. If you aren't sure, maybe check out another video. But if you would hit the like and subscribe button, it means a lot. And if you comment on the video, it really helps push this video to reaching even more people. But guys, thank you so much for just a beautiful year of recording and of growing and watching me grow along the way. Once again, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, your prayers. And thank you for just being here for it through it all. And I'm really excited to see what happens in this next year. And hopefully I will overcome the fear and just be able to maybe post more videos and to stop holding myself back from those videos that I take weeks to post. So those are some of my goals for this coming year, is just when a message stirs, to stop and record if I'm able to, and no hesitation, just posting it and breaking through those walls of hesitation and fear. But, well, guys, thank you again so much. And until next time, God bless.